Hi everyone. Welcome back to the
Advert!
London Football Show. Welcome back to the London
Ah!
Football Show, everyone.
Let's just call
Um,
it the West Ham
it's
show
time
for today.
it's
Let's just call
time
it the West
for
Ham
another
show for today.
episode. Obviously, there's been a lot of football lately.
It's just
Um,
the West Ham show
a,
today.
a lot's been happening with different clubs, but we're gonna, of course, start with West Ham through to a
And
European
we're going to
final.
middle West Ham and we're going
James,
to finish with West Ham. Well, what happened
James.
last night, Dion? What happened?
There was Europa League, Europa Conference League. West Ham through to a final. Mourinho through to a final.
Oh, here it
Yeah.
goes. Look at this for Sanford. Look, always trying to get that little bit of ex-Chelsea in or any conversation.
No,
Right,
Sevilla,
so
Roma in the final. What happened? What
from
happened
here,
in what competition?
don't panic. Don't panic, Sion. I'll take
I'm
it from
not.
here.
I stated facts. What's
Okay,
happened? I
okay,
stated
okay,
facts.
okay. West Ham are in a Europa Conference final, having been in the semi-final last year of the Europa League, having moved from Upton Park in 2016, I believe. I think it was, yeah, to the London Stadium with the board, the late David Gold, David Sullivan, and Karen Brady promising European football back at West Ham, promising it back, let alone it's back. Within 5, 6 seasons of being at the London Stadium, they've been in a Europa League semi-final last season. Now they've made it to the final. But, and this is the but, boys, and this is the but listeners, it can't stop there. It can't stop there. They've got to win it. They've got to go and win it now. They have to. David Moyes has been proven, whether you like him or not, as a West Ham fan, or even as a Man United fan, or whatever, whether you like him or not, he has proven that he knows how to manage a football club. Whether you like the style of play, whether you like it's very defensive, it's not attacking, whatever it is, yeah. He came to West Ham, they got rid of him and got Pellegrini in. Didn't work. They went back to Moyes. He's now given us two top 8 finishes in 2 seasons, a Europa League semi-final, a Europa Conference final now. Someone said on the radio on Talksport that if West Ham win the Europa Conference, no other team in the Premier League had a better season unless you're in the top 4. Now that's a fact because winning it gets you Europa League football next season. And yeah, we flirted. Did we flirt really that badly in the bottom 3? Were we ever in the bottom 3? I'm not too sure.
Not for long. Not for
Yeah,
long. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
The odd weekend,
Yeah. Hmm.
week or two, you know. But if West Ham board did what 14 clubs have done already in the Premier League this season, there is no way we would be in the Europa Conference final. Because no matter what manager they would have got in, they wouldn't have got you to that final. Because in European football, you have to play that style of what David Moyes likes. You have to be defensive. You have to take your chances when you can, and you have to go on the counter. No one's never heard of the team who played in the semi-final. They have now. They're sitting fourth in the Dutch league. They've got a young team. They play good football, attacking football. Their number 5, who I can't remember his name, who didn't play in the first leg, came back for the second leg, was outstanding, you know? But they didn't create enough chances. They had a lot of possession, but not enough chances, you know? And the only chance they did create was really threatening was when Kera nearly scored an own goal in the second half. Now, you could tell I'm a bit sort of husky, a bit sort of, because that's a big night for West Ham, you know? But they've got to go and win it. They have to go and win it. Now, the question is, does that help Leeds? Does that help Leicester? What do you do against Leeds on Sunday? I don't know. Then you've got a week later, you've got Leicester away, last game of the season. Then you've got a week and a half before the final. You've got 2.5 weeks before this final. What do you do? You can't rest the players. They need to be match fit. But do you risk all of them? Or do you play half on Sunday, half the next Sunday, keep them fit? Can you imagine if we play on Sunday and one of the players gets an injury? Oh, you know? But anyway, we're happy. Do I mention what happened at the end of the game? I called it straight away because I know how it works with European football. I know the ticketing. I know who sits behind the dugout. It's all corporate and family and friends. It's disgraceful that the fans that did the attacking came from behind the goal. They were allowed to walk around and came behind the goal. So you can understand tensions are rising, pressure's on. You're going to defend your family, rightly so. And I will mention this because regular listeners of ours know that I'm a big fan of every player in West Ham. But Pablo Fornals, he's had a season that hasn't been his best, but he has continued to be a squad player. He has worked his socks off. Whenever he comes on, he does his best. Whenever he starts, he does his best. But he's had a bit of an in and out season. And for him to come on and score that goal, and people say this is Declan Rice's last season with West Ham. Did you see him celebrating? That's a big question. If he goes, it could be a good time to go if we win it, because he's done everything possible. But where will he go? Where will he go? He certainly won't be going to Chelsea. Is
Arsenal.
Arsenal the one? Me personally, if he goes and I get a chance to see him, I'd recommend Liverpool, because I think he can do that midfield and play every game of the season, and he can become their Jordan Henderson, you know. But Arsenal he might go to. But then, can I say this on this podcast, Sion? Can you risk going to a club that bottles it? Because I was under the impression from Arsenal TV that they had one hand on the trophy and they had their feet up. And now all of a sudden, we're doing well, we've done better, we're top two, he's done well, Arteta. You know, we've got to trust him, he's building. You weren't saying that 3 or 4 weeks ago. And where did it all start from? Oh, hang on a second. Did they draw with Arsenal at the London Stadium?
Yeah, Liverpool the week before as well.
Oh, yeah, but you'd expect that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Saka,
The
penalty miss to put them 3-1 up. It's the penalty miss from Saka. That's where it changed.
Anyway, you know, these podcasts are only half an hour, 40 minutes long. I don't want to create too much, because obviously I want to give a little bit of time for Man United, because they've got stuff to win. Big win for Newcastle last night as well, which gets forgotten about. But it still doesn't give them Champions League, which is hard to believe. Hard to believe, because like Liverpool could still catch them. Man United are still there. Man United are in the FA Cup. So, but for West Ham, you can only start from there. See, on your right, spot on. I wouldn't say as always, but spot on. West Ham, am I happy? Oh my God. Have I had a good day at work? Oh my God. Have I caught up with everything? No. Am I going? That's the question you might be asking. I can't answer that until I know.
Is that, and then I'm guessing they would was Mr. Larkin. Was he the first person you called?
Funnily enough, I did message him. Yeah, the first person I called, and it's a little bit personal, but I don't mind sharing it. And those that have seen and know my history, the first person I called was my brother. You know, and for those that aren't aware, my brother's blind, but he travels everywhere with West Ham. He's been watching West Ham all his life. You know, if you want to look it up on YouTube, you can look up an advert, a well-known drinks company some of you may have heard of, called Coca Cola. You type in blind fan Coca Cola. I don't know if Sion or Sanford can put it on the link, but you'll see my brother, and you won't recognise me, but it's me about 25 years ago, you know, doing an advert. That's the first person I'll call, you know, because he would have been listening to it on the radio, you know, but he could see up until he was about 13, 14, so he knows what a football pitch looks like. And apparently he listens to a good commentator every home game at West Ham for the last 20 years. So that's the first person I called. And then my phone was red hot. You know? But there we go. We were going to Prague, 7th of June, 8 o'clock. I'll either be at Prague or the London Stadium, one of the two places. We'll see. We'll see on the night.
Okay. Moving on, Champions League, Man City. Treble still possible for them this season. And yeah, question for both of you. If they win this treble, where does this put them in English football? Greatest ever sides in English football, because in terms of just the football they play, for me, since I've started watching football, Premier League era, for me, they play the best football I've seen. But in terms of achievement, for example, the United treble winning team, until they win the treble, if they win the treble, I won't put them on that in terms of achievement. But I think if they do win the treble, for me, I think achievement and the style of play, look at the points tallies they get year in, year out, the winning runs. Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest managers of all time. I think for me, I think they'll be the greatest team in the Premier League era. Maybe English football, I can't speak for, because it obviously started before our times. But yeah, no, for me, I just wanted to ask both of you where you think these next few weeks could potentially put Man City in history.
Do I let the Man United fan go first? It might be short and sweet. Go on, Tabitha. What do you think?
I think it'll be definitely. I think one of the greatest, at least since the start of the Premier era. I think, just for the record, I think
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I've lost the sound. Can you hear me, Sion?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah, I can hear you fine. I
Can't
heard him start
understand.
talking and then it
He
just
started talking
yeah,
and then it got.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it was just me. Yeah,
sorry, can you
talk
hear
us
me
up.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Yeah.
Apologies.
Mhm.
Yeah, as I said, I think this will be one of the greatest, but for the record, I think this is City's Champions League final to lose more than the 2021 against Chelsea. I think when you compare the two sides, it's night and day. City have everything going for them. I can't think of, I think the only position maybe you can challenge, I can't even think of one in Inter, but it's just Man City have everything going for them. I think when you compare it to the United 99, yeah, there are some players that might get ahead of the City team, but when you have someone like Haaland, 52 goals, 53 goals, should have got two against City last night or the day before. Courtois was just unbelievable. Um, Look at what they're accomplishing in the league. Football has progressed, in my opinion, and it has changed a lot since the 1990s. But for them to be producing this week in, week out, yes, they don't really start the season well, but post World Cup, they've been unbelievable, doing everything right, beating teams, being ruthless. When you look at people like Kevin De Bruyne, 31 years old, I know it's not exactly the end of a player's career, but to be still putting it in, week out, and for Pep to be leaving him out of the squad during the Prem games when I know Haaland's breaking records, but are we forgetting that De Bruyne's on 16 assists? Had he played those games, I think he could have beaten his own record and beaten Henry's. And when you think about this transfer window that just went by, Shevchenko left, Jesus left, Sane left, I think the 2 seasons ago. Cancelo went out this January transfer window. These were players that Pep was rotating, and yet they still have the depth and they're still producing it. I think this will be definitely one of the greatest. I mean, it's a bit of a slight dig, but I think it's a shame that maybe there's not enough diehard fans to witness this. Maybe they might be in a decade or two, but I think their fan base has still got a long way to go, still got to grow. Will it be one of the greatest? I think based off this season, no. But considering what they've achieved in the past 3 seasons, when you compare it to United's 99, we won the league before and afterwards. So we've done a three-peat. City have also done a three-peat. You know, they've made it to a final before and they lost. So for me, as a United fan, it does hurt. I think I even came on the podcast a few months ago and said that I predicted City to win the Champions League. And the inevitable happened. It was a matter of when, not why or how.
James.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to disagree with what Samson said there. I just think for me, when you compare, it's always hard to compare when it's different eras, and I think the only thing that I would say is that when you look at football and you watch football from a neutral point of view, you want to be entertained. If it's not your club, you want to be entertained and you want that football match to keep you watching, yeah? I think what Man City offer is whatever happens in the game, they can change it. It keeps you watching because the bench is always like, you question like people who start because certain people on the bench and you sort of think like, what's going on here? Like, who was the lad who scored the 2 goals against the semi-final in the second leg? De Silva, isn't it? Or what?
Oh,
Bernardo
Bernardo
Silva.
Silva. Bernardo Silva, yeah.
Like, a lot of people when he was selected were thinking like, why is he playing? But Pep's got something. Pep has something. My concern is that if he doesn't win it, the Champions League, yeah, I would question him staying at City because this is the best opportunity of him winning it. He's been there enough years now. If he's meant to be like in the ranks of the likes of Ferguson and that, you can't be at a club that long and not win it. It's as simple as that. Because although I don't know how long it took Ferguson to win the Champions League when he was at United, there wasn't as much money. You couldn't go out and buy. You know what I mean? It's a different era. If he doesn't win it now, I think Pep may question him staying at City. And I think a lot of it will depend on, like, can they relax too much? Because by the time the Champions League come round, Premier League's done, right? They're going to win that. They might even win it on Saturday night with Arsenal losing to Forest, yeah? But they're going to win the Premier League. Will they win the FA Cup? It will be a tight game, but I think they're going to win. So they could go into the Champions League a little bit relaxed with, 1-2 third part to have. Can we do the treble? Do they go too relaxed, or does it make them more anxious? There was a question I set a couple of people. I think I said it to you. Like, only one player in the Man City current squad has ever won the Champions League medal. Now, we won't give the answer because let's see if anyone can cheat on the internet like Sion did.
I didn't get it right, by the way. I didn't get it right, viewers, to these false accusations. Yeah, I didn't get it right.
I didn't get it right.
Usually good at quizzes.
I don't think you'd have to be a real Man City supporter, or you'd have to know the real history, because it's a player that, we don't want to give too much away, but only one player has won it. Yeah. And they've had how many finals with Pep? Is it just one?
Just the one, yeah.
And they didn't win it, and they were favourites to win that one, really, against who was it? Against Chelsea, wasn't it?
Listen, 2 years ago, viewers, when I was at Razanfan's house, I did say definitely they'll win it in the next 5 years. I'll send that video around from 2 years ago. Straight away, that night of the final, I said this City team, they're too good. They will definitely win in the next 5 years.
I might do the same, because I can remember about 25 years ago, I said West Ham will win a trophy in 30 years. But yeah, I'll send that one.
I said 5 years. Massive difference. 30 years. That's a third of a lifetime. A third of a lifetime.
That's not a good prediction with Man City saying they're going to win it in 5 years. You should have said 2 or 3.
That's a third of a lifetime.
But that's the expectation. See, the expectation is Man City should be winning the Champions League every couple of years.
They do, yeah. But there's world class. There's the Real Madrid. So I know they're coming to the end of their cycle now, but Madrid, their heritage, isn't it?
But would you have expected Pep to have at least won the Champions League once or twice by now?
Yeah, at least once. At least 100%.
At least. How many years has he been at City?
7.
Right. So every 3 years he should have won the Champions League. That's what your prediction should have been. But anyway, it's a good prediction, and I think it will come true. I think City will do the treble. I just think I'll be interested to see what sort of team he starts with. But it's not the team he starts with, it's what's on the bench that can come on and dominate. The only difference with the Champions League final, when it comes to knockout stage, it's a one-off game. That's the only difference. It's a one-off game. So you don't play that well in that one-off game, you could lose it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one barrier left for me personally is the FA Cup. I think if they win the FA Cup, if I have to choose which one I think is going to be the harder game, I think it's the FA Cup final. I mean, I want Inter Milan to win the final, by the way, but 100%. I don't think they will. I think it's the United hurdle. If they overcome that, Manchester derby, because Man United is not only is it the Manchester derby, it's their treble on the line. So that's the greatest motivation. If after all that City go and win that at Wembley, then yeah. I mean, yes, I'm not saying Inter Milan can't win. Bigger upsets have happened in football, but yeah, no, I don't see it. It's the Manchester derby or treble for me.
Yeah, bigger upsets have happened, Sion. Definitely. Look at Chelsea. They beat Bournemouth away this season.
We're not going to win any more games. We're not winning any other games.
What's the next thing?
What's next thing? Top 4 race, Roehampton, United, big game this weekend away at Bournemouth. If you win it, you've got 2 games. Just need one other win to cement top 4. Can you hold your nerve to fend off Liverpool? Because Newcastle, they've got Leicester at home. I don't think they couldn't have picked a better fixture. Leicester, a lot of their top players know they'll be leaving this summer. So I think Leicester, their motivation seems to be gone. I saw them against Liverpool. Poor performance at home. So I don't think Newcastle could have asked for a better game to wrap up top 4. I think they'll beat Leicester at home on Monday night. So I think Liverpool's only chance of top 4 is Man United slipping up. I think Newcastle have got it now. So, Roehampton, your thoughts on the top 4 race and wrapping up Champions League football for next season?
I think we'll be wrapping up Champions League football, but at the start of Stephen, I wouldn't have wanted us to be in this predicament. I think the fixtures do favour us. We've got Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home. If we get the job done at Bournemouth, we'll need 1 out of the 2 wins. Albeit Liverpool don't drop points. Do I think we can beat Bournemouth? Definitely. But it's our away form. I don't trust this team to go away and do the job. had a few hits to our team as well recently. Savic is now injured for the rest of the season. Marcus Rashford, even though he's recovered from his injury, he's now fallen ill. So it depends. It's going to be interesting. I think Ten Hag will probably play a similar lineup to what he played against Wolves, I believe, last weekend. But if we beat Wolves, I think then I can confidently say we'll win at least one out of the two. If not, this will be one of the biggest battles of top four. Other than that, we've got nothing else. FA Cup, of course. That's another reason why I want us to wrap it up early, so the players can start focusing on that instead of the top four. In terms of relegation and who's going to go down, I want Everton to go down purely just because of their history in top division. I just need them to go down just so that they can kind of suffer. There's not really anyone I want from Everton, but in terms of teams getting relegated, if they do, Leicester would happily take Maddison and Tielemans. Southampton, probably Kyle Walker-Peters will be a good opportunity. Probably be most likely squad rotation players. Whether they'll be happy with that, it's up to them. It's either they get squad rotated in a Champions League squad or play in Sky Bet Championship.
I mean, just quickly on Bournemouth, by the way, how good of a job has Gary O'Neill done this season? Because start of the season, I didn't give Bournemouth a chance to stay up. I'll be honest. I don't think many did. In fact, I probably would have put them 20th, as in like most likely of the promoted teams to go down. And obviously, Scott Parker, after like was it Liverpool 9-0 at the start of the season, I just said, yeah, these guys, they're gone. Like, what, that must have been first 10 games of the season. I didn't give them a chance, especially after that. And Gary O'Neill comes in, everyone probably dismissed them at the start because they would have said the whole honeymoon period. And then they did go through a rough patch, but then they picked it up when they needed it, sort of around March time. I know they got the big win away at Spurs. So I just, a quick note on Gary O'Neill. I think he should be a contender for Premier League Manager of the season. I haven't checked the list. I know they put that list out. I don't know if he was there or not, but I do think he should be on that list. He's done an excellent job. And Bournemouth, when you look at, you talk about overachieving in the season, I definitely think Bournemouth are one of the overachievers because they're staying up comfortably past the 40-point mark. I think it's an incredible job he's done. Just wanted to give him some praise being on that topic of Bournemouth United. James, your thoughts on top four race, Man United?
Top four. I said ages ago that I still fancied Liverpool to get in the top four. And then they sort of didn't do well. And then I sort of changed my mind and sort of said, I might not be right. But now you never know. But I just think it's Liverpool should win their last two games. But will it be enough? Probably not. I agree. I think Newcastle are there now. I think it just depends on Man United's away form, whether they can pick up. But I think it will probably stay the same and Liverpool just miss out, which would be a shame. But Liverpool have done well. But as a lot of people are saying, he's like planning for next season already. You know, he's already released the squad members that are not going to be staying, and there's some good players there that are leaving Liverpool. So he knows who he needs to replace and what positions. If the bottom three stays as it is, Southampton, Leicester and Leeds, I'm just looking at the league table, I think that's the first time again where all three teams that were promoted last season stay up, which is always good. But then you look at it and I think Leicester have gone. I can't see them
Finished, yeah.
I'd like to see Everton go just because they've been toying with relegation for the last few years, and I think it might help them out. It might help them, go down, win the championship, come back up. They're building a new stadium that's ready for 2 seasons' time. So that could be a thing. I worry a bit about Forest because if they lose against Arsenal on Saturday night and Everton beat Wolves and Leeds beat West Ham, that might start a bit of panic for Forest because they go to Palace away at the end of the season. So they could I think they're all right because they're on 34. So they're 3 points clear of Leeds, 4 points clear of Leicester. But you just don't know. Sam Allardyce is a good manager for this sort of thing. But yeah, I think Rasampa made a good point. When you look at it from your clubs, even Chelsea and Man United, not so much West Ham. We might come in for Ward-Prowse, the Southampton captain. But when you look at teams going down, that's what you want to look at is, well, who can you then pick up at a nice price? The Leicester players aren't going to go for that much money now, because if they get relegated, you can pick them up for short prices. And the interesting thing is that we've got to remember who we got. We've got Burnley coming up with Vincent Kompany. We've got Sheffield United coming up with Higginbottom. And we potentially, believe it or not, could have either Luton or Coventry coming back up. You know, so bigger clubs will look, oh, that's a good 6 points. That's good. But Luton or Coventry in the Premier League, you boys weren't alive, I don't think, when they were in the Premier League.
No,
Ridiculous.
I think Luton got relegated the season before the Prem started.
Luton, I don't think Luton. Yeah, that's a good trivia question. I don't think Luton had an AstroTurf as their pitch for many years. And Coventry used to have Gordon Strachan, little short Scottish guy, managed them, and they went down at Tottenham last game of the season. I think, or did they survive? But they haven't been in the Premier League, I think, since you've been born, boys. But they're a good, strong fan base. But you'd love a Luton away, boys. I don't know, you may have read about it and heard about their away end for the away fans. You literally go through a turnstile and then up some stairs in someone's back garden. They've got to spend 10 million. If they go up, they've got to commit to spending 10 million to get that stand redesigned, because of they can't have you can't have Chelsea, Man United fans going up someone's back garden. That's just bloody ridiculous. But anyway, I think the top four is what it is. I'd like to see Liverpool get in, and if they do, then I'm proven right. And I think the bottom three is probably it, and Everton and Forest will, not necessarily Forest scrape through, but I think Everton will just get away with it. And I think Leicester and Leeds have got too much to do. And it could all be done and dusted this weekend. Because I think party atmosphere at the London Stadium might see West Ham beat Leeds, and they want to send Sam down. And Leicester against, who they got, Newcastle? No.
Yeah, Leicester, Newcastle away on Monday night, I think.
They're playing Monday night, because I know their manager, Dean Smith's been moaning that they've been playing the last two Monday nights, and it's not fair.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it is.
That's life, mate. That's life, mate. It's only because, Theon, you know why. You know the real reason why. And I have to say this before I say this. Obviously, allegedly, this is the reason why. It's because John Terry likes to go out with certain people at the weekend, because their husbands are playing weekend football. Allegedly, we might have to edit that out. But
no, it's fine. It's fine. But a quick note on Liverpool. I do think Newcastle and United, they will be a bit relieved like the games have run out, because I think Liverpool, if there were another 5 games left, I think there would be enough points there for them to make the top 4. They just didn't quite start their winning run just soon enough, because I think it's 7 in a row. Liverpool, they probably want more games now, more than anyone right now in the league. So yeah, that'll be sort of something Klopp will probably reflect on at the end of the season, if we just started this winning run a bit sooner. But if they are in the Europa League, they will be favourites to win that. If he picks the strongest team in the Europa League, if Liverpool are in it next season, I'm sure they'll win it, or they will go far. But moving on, previewing the fixtures for this weekend, we'll start with West Ham Leeds, James.
Hopeful for a party atmosphere at the London Stadium. Big Sam coming back. He did well for West Ham in the end. He got us back into the Premier League in the playoff final against Blackpool, I think it was. So I wouldn't want to send him down, but I think a draw is a good result for Leeds, and West Ham fans will be happy with a draw, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win West Ham.
Was that fun?
I think that's what we're going to do.
I'm going to go 3-0 West Ham. I think the players will be buzzing, the fans will be buzzing. I think the atmosphere will be amazing. I think, like I said, it'll be a party atmosphere. I think the momentum's in their hands. Also, I mean, they only need, I think, 1 point to mathematically be safety from relegation, so they might as well just go out with a bang and get the 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham win. Sticking with you, Razanthan, Bournemouth Man United score prediction.
1-0 United. I think it'll be the most boringest, deadest game. I think we'll scrape it like we have been scraping our past games, and De Gea will probably clinch Golden Glove as well.
3-1 United, James.
What's it, Bournemouth?
Bournemouth Man United at Bournemouth.
At Bournemouth?
At Bournemouth, yeah.
2-2.
2-2. Right, Chelsea, I'll combine this and then give the score prediction for Chelsea Man City. Obviously, we drew to Forest, and when you look at our remaining games, that the Bournemouth away win might have been our last 3 points of the season in terms of victories. Obviously, poor season. I'm just waiting for it to end now. There's nothing else to for us this season. Like winning games, losing games, they don't put us anywhere in terms of qualifying for this or making this. Is just, what is it going to be, 11th, 12th, or 13th we finish at this point? So poor season, shocking season, the worst season I've ever seen from this football club since I started watching football and supporting. And yeah, Man City, Arsenal fans, don't expect anything from us. I mean, even if you do beat Forest and you think, oh yeah, it's not over, it will be over on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, when we go to Man City, and they will be lifting the title at that game regardless. So for the score predictions, Chelsea, Man City, this is going to be this is the easiest prediction of the season. Man City 4, Chelsea 0. Anyone can go next.
So I was just in a bit of shock there. I thought we froze then because I thought I heard someone say 4-0 to Man City. I'm going to go surprisingly a tough game.
I remember this against Arsenal. Remember against Arsenal away. How did that work out?
I think I'm just going to go 2-0.
Oh, well, well for viewers, if it is 2-0, then that's Man City knowing the job's done and they're resting for the bigger games they have this season. But if Pep wants to kill us, it will be 3, 4s, and 5s come the Etihad on Sunday evening. Was that fun?
I'm going to go 2-1. I think 2-0, 60 minutes will be wrapped up, Haaland, De Bruyne off, and then Chelsea will get a late consolation.
Well, what about Julian Alvarez against Real Madrid? Remember, you don't make these guys weaker, Haaland. I mean, yeah, obviously Alvarez, he don't score as much as Haaland, but City play the exact same way. When Haaland gets subbed, KDB can be rested. Yeah, Alvarez will come on and get a brace. It don't matter. But yeah, any final thoughts from either of you before we wrap up? Anything else?
No, I don't think so. Other than West Ham are massive. Come on, you Irons!
Is that the song, isn't it? Everywhere they go.
Come on, you Irons!
I think at least me and Mr. Datsun can look forward to a final.
Yeah. My season's over. August. My season starts in August.
We're not ending on Chelsea. We're ending on Come on, you Irons.
Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you all again. Massive games between now and the end of the season. Obviously, multiple finals to look forward to. So, yep, take care, like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you all again soon.